Hey guys, welcome back to another season of basketball. We've been gone for a while for the summer, but season's back and we're ready to go.
Season 2 of the Raptors Den.
This is the Raptors presented to you by Faulty Logics. You got the same host as we had last year. We got Peter and myself, Dan, and we're a bit late on the season, but we're ready to go, and there's a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, welcome back MVPs. We were about a week and a half late into the season, maybe 2 weeks here now, but it's a better late than never. We want to see how the season was going to start out for us. We have a packed show here today, trying to catch up on the last 9 games that teams have been playing for. So we're going to be talking about, of course, the Raptors. Being the Raptors, then you have to start off with the home team and the big moves that the Toronto Raptors have done. We'll go back into a league review with all the other teams. There are a couple key teams that are going to be on the NBA radar as a whole, like the Lakers, the downfall of the Cavs, the up of the 76ers. I know Dan is really jumping on that one. There's also been a huge influx of 50-point games and just very monstrous individual nights so far. It's only been 8 games into the league, but I don't know if it's a trend we're going to see, but we got to dive into that, see if it is a trend that we're going to see a lot. And then to end the show, we're going to end it with some hot takes and some potential award winners, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, things of that nature, just to, in the first 8 games, to see where we're leading towards. So just jumping right into it here. First thing, let's get the monkey off our backs, the big elephant in the room. Starting off with the Raptors and the biggest trade of franchise history, picking
For
up
us.
Kawhi, definitely for us, picking up Kawhi Leonard and getting rid of our homegrown, like, superstar, first real Raptors superstar who wanted to be a Raptor.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan.
He-
First, let's just get perspectives on the trade. Before these games even started, when we were in mid-July, when the trade dropped or something
Yeah.
of that nature, what was your initial reaction to the deal?
Man, I was so pissed off. I was like, this is the one guy that wants to be loyal to the city. He basically said, "I am Toronto,"
He literally said,
he
I
literally
am
said it.
Toronto.
and for Messiah to come in and make that trade like that, I was like, "What the hell is he smoking?" Because who's gonna want to come play for Toronto now? We traded the most loyal guy that we can ever find. Like,
Yeah.
we already have a hard time finding free agents and signing free agents. Like if Kawhi Leonard doesn't stay with us, we're in rebuild mode.
Of course. No, and I agree. I think we have the same outlook, especially with like 95% of Toronto Raptors fans as well. It was just utter disgust. Like, it just was disrespectful. Maybe not the trade itself, because it was a good trade. Kawhi Leonard, healthy, top 3 players in the league. It's on paper, it's a fine trade. It's the way it went down.
It's the way it went down. Yeah,
Masai should have sat him down and had a conversation with him and go, DeMar, I know you're gonna be pissed, but you have no say in this. It's happening. You're getting traded, and this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not through a text message, phone call, through media where he did find out. That's what gets me. It's the disrespect to the loyalty that he kept showing Toronto, which is
Right.
what we were killing all of our former players for, is loyalty, with Vince Carter leaving, Alonzo Mourning not returning, Chris Bosh signing out, like things like that. We kill these players. Now that someone's actually doing what we ask, and we just let them go. I don't know. I felt bad. I understand the frustration from DeMar, but on paper, the Raptors have the best Raptor of all time. Like, without even playing a game. He's
Yeah.
the best player we've ever had.
I agree with you 100%. Like, in the moment, it was like, what the hell just
Why?
happened? But like, now that we're like a week
8
or
games
two and a half weeks in,
Yeah.
we look at the trade and like, you look at Masai Ujiri and you're like, that was a bold ass move.
Yes.
Like, you took on a lot of heat for doing it, but I can see why you did it now. And this is a kind of move that, as a GM, you hope that you can bring the best possible chance for your team to win. And he made the move that he thought was best for the team. And like you said, if you look at player to player, Kawhi Leonard is easily a way better player than DeRozan is.
Yes. Like, two-way players, offense, defense. Okay, maybe he doesn't have as ease of the mid-range game as DeMar DeRozan has, because DeMar DeRozan, I think he has the best mid-range game in the league,
Mhm.
but it's the defensive factor. DeMar DeRozan isn't even top 30 for defense in the league. Kawhi Leonard is number 1, maybe number 2. I'll fine give him 2.
Mhm.
But offense, he's still top 5, where DeMar is not even still top 5. So it's the fact of all around, he is a better player. It's the question mark at the end of the season that drives me up the wall. Because
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan was like, if he had a choice, he would have stayed for the Raptors for the next 15 years. No question
For sure.
about it.
Yeah.
No worrying that when May or June comes on, if we don't win the championship, we could be in what you said, a rebuild mode.
Mhm.
If we don't go to the NBA Finals, Kawhi Leonard is going to leave. Why would he stay? I don't understand. I don't see why he would stay unless we go to the finals or get killed in like the Eastern Conference Finals by Giannis Antetokounmpo, who just comes out and balls out and has his coming out party. That's fine. Kawhi might get vengeance and want to come back and beat him.
Right.
But it's the unknown in June and July that absolutely makes me terrified about this deal. But in Masai, I trust. I don't think he's doing anything wrong. This deal is going to give him GM of the year or not. Or he's going to lose his job.
Right.
But luckily, Masai's not technically the GM. They do have somebody in between them. Wasn't it Bobby Webster?
I have no
I
clue.
forget who that actual GM is because Masai is the president. So he has a little bit of a buffer room. So he's not the man that's going to take the fall if it doesn't work. But still, it's a big move for the Raptors organization.
One of the things that people have been talking about recently is we know the whole situation with the Jimmy Butler, and how he wants to be traded.
Very
And
much so.
There's been rumors saying that he does not want to play anymore for the Minnesota Timberwolves at all, even though he's played a couple of games for them this season already. And the Raptors are back in that discussion to try and get him.
It is one of those things that just doesn't make sense now.
Again, this is another one of the situations where it's like, we can't guarantee that we're keeping him at the end of the year.
It's one of those situations where
So
we're taking
lose
a gamble.
2 massive players and lose everything for it.
We're already bet the whole house in the last deal with Kawhi. We have nothing else to risk. If we get Jimmy Butler by whatever the deal is, even if we lose like a first round draft pick and Lonzo Brown, like
It might have
matter.
to be Siakam. We might have to like Powell, JV.
That's what I mean. Like
something
even
there.
if we have like the best deal ever for Jimmy Butler, I still wouldn't do it. Like if he was just like, give me $50 and a draft pick, I wouldn't do it. Just because you would be selling out because you'll be taking minutes away from somebody that we can develop, like a Pascal. Because I know the deal, we would lose one of these guys. But even if you're taking minutes away from Pascal, Norm, DeLon Wright, Danny Green, who is the understatement of that last deal, that Danny Green pickup was humongous for the Raptors.
Because if you're gonna compare it like apples to apples, like Danny Green for
Jakob Portal, I'd do that.
That's
every
not
day.
bad at all.
No, I'd do that every day, any day of the week. If that's on the fantasy table, I'll take that right now.
Yeah.
But it's the too much of the unknown. We're taking away minutes from somebody for Jimmy Butler, who is, in all intents and purposes, a rental player, unless he gets here, looks at Kawhi, looks at Kyle Lowry, and goes, I have a super team now. Like, why go to the Lakers or the Knicks to create a super team when you already have one? And
then hopefully Kawhi looks at that same situation and is like,
says, I have a super team.
Hey, this ain't bad.
This is not bad. I've got Ibaka as my big man. I got JV as my backup big man. Pascal goes up and down the court, so we can't lose him.
Right.
We have Danny Green, who is just a most reliable piece ever. He would have to come off the bench even. Because like you can't have Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, and Danny Green all on the floor together with Kyle Lowry. You'll play small ball all day, every day.
Right.
So if it happens, like I said before, in Masai I trust, because then he has a big master plan. If I was in his position, I would not be able to make that deal. I would never be able to make that deal. It's way too
You're gonna lose a
scary.
lot of sleep.
Oh, you wouldn't sleep. You couldn't sleep. You would be like monitoring your locker room 24/7 because if one thing happens, Jimmy Butler and Kawhi will be like, forget this, I'm out here.
Yeah.
And you're screwed. And then you have nothing. Like then Kyle Lowry is gonna look around and go, forget this. I'm 33, 34 years old now. I'm not going to be able to lead a team by myself. He could even do that when he was 26, 27.
Right.
So now he's older. Now he has nothing. No, he's going to be way too butthurt for losing DeMar and losing those two. Now he's going to be a 10th place team in the East if they both left. Kyle would be gone. He wouldn't be the same. But I don't know. There's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. I don't believe we have to make the deal because the record speaks for itself. We're 7-1, the best start that the franchise ever had in 6-0. We lost to a surging Bucks team who was also undefeated still.
Mm-hmm.
They were missing Giannis, yes, but we were missing Kawhi. Still, it's a wash, but it's a good start. We're in a good position. Let's ride it out. Pray for no injuries and hope Kawhi can stay healthy. Because so far, he's played 2 games less than he did in the last year and a half.
Yeah. So there's also rumors right now that Kevin Love, he has this toe injury. There's
Like
potentially going to be shutting him down for the entire season.
Yeah.
Because they're just in tank mode now. Some people are speculating if we should trade for Kevin Love.
No. I like Kevin Love, but no. But when is the Cavs not in tank mode? You know what I mean? If they have LeBron not tank mode, right when he's gone, tank mode. Like tanking before he came. They had him for a couple years. When he left to Miami, started tanking. Got him back. Good. Now he's gone tanking again. It's just the worst.
Here's the thing with that, though. It's not like they're tanking intentionally. It's like they're a trash team.
but okay, I understand. They're not tanking intentionally yet. When it comes January, February, and they're battling the bottom teams like the Knicks and the Bulls, let's tank a couple games to get that high draft pick.
Yeah.
So I understand they're not tanking yet on purpose,
but
it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
They're making interesting moves as well too, because they just fired Ty Lue.
Yep, that wasn't interesting though. That was necessary. Ty Lue, and I've been saying this for a while. He is not as good as a coach as people think.
Yeah,
because he has the greatest player coach since Bill Russell on his team.
Right.
If you don't have to coach, you're going to look like a good coach because you're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm not surprised. I knew he was not going to end the season as the Cavaliers head coach just purely because he's not a good coach. He was a subpar player. But then again, I
so
guess,
is Luke Walton.
Yeah, you took it right out of my mouth. I was going to say, yeah, Luke Walton is a subpar player. But hey, he's a good coach. Well, question mark. He only had 1 year without LeBron. Now that he has LeBron, could be the same Ty Lue situation.
And he had the Warriors, so it's like you
exactly.
can't really give him credit for that.
He had the Warriors before that, where they were just unbelievable. Now he has the best player of all time on his team, Luke Walton. He could be not a coach after next year if LeBron leaves.
Yeah.
So we'll see. LeBron has ruined a lot of men's careers. David Blatt, where is he? Or Stephen Blatt? I don't even know his name.
I think it's David Blatt.
David Blatt, he's gone. Mike Brown's never been a head coach again.
Yeah.
Since his stint.
I think he did have the Warriors.
He was intern when Steve Kerr was out with his back. That's not a real head coaching job. That was like Luke Walton's head coaching of the Warriors.
Right.
Nah, he was interning. And yet again, it was the Warriors. There is not much. A 10-year-old that plays NBA 2K can coach the Warriors.
Yeah.
Just manage minutes. That's all you have to do. Steph, you play 38 minutes today. Sit down. That's it. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting with the Cavaliers situation, though. I hope Kevin Love comes back because if he doesn't, he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you can't be jumping around like that.
Well, I love the fact that I was saying last year, this is literally the worst team that LeBron's ever had, ever, right?
Yeah.
That he's brought to the playoffs at least.
Fair. He only missed playoffs one time in his career. Was it
twice?
Twice? I knew he missed it. Okay.
His first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then even the year that he went to the finals against the Spurs and got swept.
Yeah.
People talked a lot about that team and how bad that team was. I thought this team was worse. Yeah. And it goes to show because they start the season off and they have the worst record they've ever had as a franchise.
They are 1-6 as of today. They have a game right now, but before this game started tonight, they are 1-6.
And then you go and you see, and I've been saying it for a long time, you can throw LeBron on any team. You can put him on the last place team, and he can bring them to the finals. So you can put him on a Lakers team that didn't have that great of a record last year, and could he get to the Eastern Conference Finals? I think he can.
Eastern Conference, yes, but I don't think he's going to be getting it to like the Western. I don't think
That'll be
he's.
tough.
I
mean, I'm
don't
sorry.
think.
The Western Conference
West-
Finals?
Yeah,
You don't think he can get there?
no.
Oh,
I don't
he
think
can.
not this year. I don't see it in the cards. Even though the Lakers team is hell of a lot better than what they were last year, even without all the other side moves they did beside LeBron.
Yeah.
Even if they brought in LeBron James only, they would have been a hell of a lot better than what they were last year. But they've got a lot of good pieces. Yes, they are on a slow start. They're 3-5 right now.
Yes.
A couple of their last game was a fluky win.
But you
by
see
like
flashes
minutes.
of brilliance.
That's what it is. They have a lot of veteran, like, I don't want to say veteran with like old players because LeBron is the oldest, but they have a lot of playoff depth players. JaVale McGee, he's went far in the playoffs.
He's got championships too.
Yes. Lance Stevenson, he's been into the playoffs multiple times as a role player. That's fine. Rondo's a champion. And now it's the mixture of those guys with the youth of Ingram, Caldwell Pope. They also have Kuzma. They have like
Ball.
Lonzo. Like
Josh Hart.
They have pieces. So it's if they can fold together in the end of the season, March and April. Of course, they're going to be slacking in the first couple months. It's LeBron James. He does it all the time. He doesn't have good starts of the seasons.
My favorite thing about this team though is that these young players, aside from Ingram, it seems like they're all very receptive and don't have an ego.
Mm-hmm.
They're there and they're willing to learn everything that they can from their vets, right? Which is the best part. The other thing too I want to mention is that the play style. A lot of people always criticize the fact that everyone says like LeBron James makes you a better player, but then you also get criticized that says LeBron James makes you a spot up shooter, and we saw that on the Cavs.
Oh,
right,
and in the Heat.
He literally only had guys that stood on the 3-point line, and that's it. They waited for the ball. Other than Dwayne Wade, who would slash.
Yeah, and
right?
still Wade was shooting a lot more when he was playing with LeBron than he ever has in his career.
Now, when you look at the Lakers team, whenever you see LeBron have the ball and he's trying to make a play, same kind of thing. The big difference is that you see his young guys trying to get open. Yeah. They're not standing and waiting, and they're like moving. Even though it looks chaotic the way that they move and they don't know what the hell they're doing, they're just running into each other. The fact that there's movement causes defenses to get scrambled up as well too, and they're getting like easy layups all the time.
It is a much faster pace than LeBron's ever played with.
Amazingly fast.
I think it's going to benefit him in the long run. It's going to be taking time for him to get adjusted to it, but it's going to save wear on his tires because if all the other guys are going to be moving, he just dribbles the air out of the ball, cuts, and he's a great passer. He has
bullet passes constantly.
Court vision, so he's going to be a lot less getting to the paint, getting 12 to 14 foul shots a game, like taking that beating. So because when Kuzma would do it for you, Ingram's getting to the paint a lot more efficiently than I remember seeing him. This is like college days. Like, because it looks like he's comfortable in his body frame now, which is good.
Not to mention, you have like all these hockey passes as well too.
Yeah,
because he's not the only guy that's able to pass there.
No,
like
Rondo.
You have to give Lance Stevenson some credit.
Yes,
like he had an amazing like thread pass through 3 defenders to LeBron, and like even LeBron like dapped him up for that too. Like that's.
Actually, speaking about Lance Stevenson, I think I know the pass you're talking about as well. I'm liking the swagger that the Lakers are having as well. Dude. They even though they're not starting off strong, they know what they can do.
Yeah. And so they know what they're capable of. They know what their potential is.
Exactly. All they have to do is make it into the playoffs and have a somewhat favorable seat. They don't have to be in top 4 to get home court advantage. That's not really necessary.
LeBron doesn't care. He just needs to get into the playoffs.
He just needs to get into the playoffs and not run into the Warriors first round.
Right.
And not run into, well, the way the Rockets are playing right now. Maybe run into them in the first round, but you can't run into the Rockets in the first round. You know what I mean? So he needs a somewhat favorable team like the Blazers, the Nuggets, the Pelicans, like one of those big teams, but not really going to wow LeBron James when it comes to the playoff time.
Here's where I'll give credit to Luke Walton. And maybe this has a little bit to do with Magic Johnson as well too, but I think it has a lot to do with Luke Walton. Is the fact that he knows that he's got a young team that likes to run and gun. They already know that last year they were like top 5 in fast break points. Defense is shit. Defense is still shit.
That's not going to change though.
But they're taking advantage of this run and gun offense, and even though you're gonna score on them, they're coming back and they're scoring like 120 plus points a game.
Yep.
Like you have to keep up. Like they're not, no, they're no longer trying to win by outscoring or outshooting the Warriors,
Yep.
and they're just gonna pound you in the paint. And that was the main thing that we said. Like if you take it into the paint, the Warriors can't guard you.
Yeah.
But the question is DeMarcus Cousins.
I was gonna say now, realistically, the Warriors could guard you in the paint if DeMarcus comes back to what he was before this very traumatic Achilles injury. It's not easy to come back from this. He's still not even coming back until hopefully 2019. Like they're hoping before 2019, but I'm thinking it's more going to be looking like January, maybe Valentine's Day. But if he comes back and he's the same thing that he is, hopefully he can.
All right,
Hopefully
let's take a quick sponsor break. We don't have a sponsor, but if you would like to sponsor us one day, this is the time to do it.
You can leave it in the comments.
All right, welcome back, guys. Thanks for listening to our no sponsor.
Yep. So hopefully, guys, we're going to have a sponsorship availability. Leave a comment down there if you have a team shout out, something like that nature. But getting right back into the good stuff here in the league review that we're talking about, we were somewhat transitioning to the Golden State Warriors and their monster pickup that we haven't really talked about here, with the DeMarcus Cousins deal that they signed for, what was it, $8 million minimum contract?
Less, like $5 million or something.
Yeah, 5.8, something stupid minor veteran contract.
1 year contract though.
Yes. They haven't seen the dividends of that deal pay off yet because DeMarcus is still coming off that injury. Hypotheticals, when he does come back, what is your take on the Warriors whole?
It'll be interesting because what is the starting lineup gonna be? It's gonna be Steph, Clay, Draymond at the power forward. You're probably gonna have KD at small forward, and you have a center with DeMarcus Cousins. That is
that is the Monstars like reincarnated. Like it's not even funny anymore. I think they found the bad guys for Space Jam 2 when LeBron is going to be the good guy. You know what I mean? It's more or less that I don't know if DeMarcus Cousins, especially coming off this injury, is going to be a starter. What can you expect from a DeMarcus Cousins who is 7 feet tall, 280 or something big on that ankle? Like it's a severe injury. So I don't know.
Maybe you can still play him as a power forward, a stretch four.
Yeah,
and you can still have Draymond at the center. He can still shoot the three.
That's I forgot. DeMarcus can
third
still
Splash brother.
Yeah, like honestly, it's honestly terrifying. I have never seen a team that have all five as a legitimate 3-point threat.
Yeah,
as well as having three people that are full-fledged all defensive team members with DeMarcus, Clay, and Draymond. So you have 3-point threats.
Even Durant is all defensive.
Yeah, Durant can even do it as well. The only one that's a liability is Steph, just because Steph is 5'0" and he just shoots threes all days and that's all he does. But you have 3.5 with Durant as all defensive players. 5 that could be in the 3-point contest at the All-Star break, and I would not even be surprised. You have 5 All-Stars, without a doubt. You have potentially 5 people that are going to make a spot on the All-NBA team 1 through 3. It just doesn't even make sense. Like this is like your fantasy basketball team can't even be this good. You know what I mean? So like I don't even know who's gonna stop the Warriors if DeMarcus comes back and he's even 85% as good as he was last year. Like it's over.
You ever see that meme where it's like when you hold Steph and Durant and Clay to like Steph Durant and like Draymond to like 12 points each? But then Clay goes off for 50.
Like it's not even like, funny.
It's literally
they literally had this happened last week. Steph Curry went off for 50 points on like a Monday or a Sunday. Mm-hmm. Later on in a Wednesday, Durant goes off for like 35 and 15. Later on the last Sunday as well, Klay Thompson goes off for 52 points.
After struggling like
for the whole first like 6 games. It's who wants to work today.
Up to that point, Markel Fultz hit more 3-pointers than him.
Until Clay has like the night of all nights. But it's the fact of who wants to work today. Okay, Kevin, you want to work today? Steph and Clay, you take the day off. Everyone else will play around them. And then they can just switch it up like that. I'm feeling under the weather there, Luke. Steve Kerr, I was out until 1 o'clock last night. Give all my plays to Steph. Give all my plays to Clay. Like it's not even funny anymore. It's not. So I don't know. Hopefully, like I never I don't even know. There's nothing I can really even
Yeah.
say because like I just hope the Warriors don't win. But
And we're not even
going to.
mentioning the other guys that they have on their bench. Like, we don't even talk about Andre Iguodala or
Is he even on
Sean
the team
Livingston.
anymore?
Even.
Like I don't even know.
Nobody
Like, it doesn't
talks about
matter
them.
because
There's,
they
like,
don't matter.
Jordan Bell and like all these guys,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
No, it just absolutely
They're just there
doesn't
to
matter.
fill a roster spot.
It's there. It's because the NBA says you have to have 12 men dressed on a team. If they could dress 8, I know they would dress 8. Like it just doesn't even matter who else is on their team. They can pick up JV guys and just be like, "Hey, high schoolers, you want an NBA championship? Come join these guys." Like it's so irrelevant, their bench and their quote unquote depth
Yeah.
until it gets to January, February, where you're resting these guys thinking of playoffs in the future. That's when it's going to be relevant. But it's still going to be barely relevant because they're still going to be top 2.
Yeah.
Hands and feet better than everyone else. But moving off from the Warriors, because I can talk about the Warriors all day, and I can't even say that I hate them because they did it the right way. They did one shady deal, and that was the DeMarcus Cousins deal. The Kevin Durant, I can't fault the Warriors for that kind of a situation. If one of the best players is coming to your team and saying, "Pay me, I want to play,"
For sure.
I'm gonna pay you your goddamn money, and I'm gonna have you play with me. So that's fine.
But it's you have to blame Durant on that one.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I don't blame the Warriors organization. And even with the DeMarcus Cousins, I blame DeMarcus more for settling like that. But I also have a little blame for the Warriors for offering that deal. You know what I mean? Because like, even if DeMarcus like, I will give you a discounted price for me for 1 year. Don't offer the minimum. Like that's just you're just savage. Like, oh, you're going to give me a discount? Here's the worst price I can give you possible by the CBA. Okay, Warriors, I'll take it. Sweet, thanks. But so that's the one thing. But they did everything else in the draft. Steph was drafted. Clay was drafted. Draymond was drafted in the second goddamn round. So everyone had 2 chances to pick up Draymond Green and missed it.
Yeah,
that's on them. So they picked up Steve Kerr, who was a great pickup, first-year coach. They took a chance and it paid off. So I don't fault the Warriors at all. I fault Kevin Durant a lot. Somewhat fault DeMarcus Cousins, but they did their job and they did it right. If that was the Raptors, I'll be super pumped. But moving on from the Warriors
hold on.
there.
Before we move away from the Warriors, I just want to point out how annoying Steph Curry is.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something I didn't really see him do last year anymore. He kind of like stopped doing it, but I saw him do it in preseason, and he started doing it in regular season as well too. He's trying to do these stupid draw the contact on his 3-point shots again. Like he's shooting and contorting his body to stick his ass out, or like throwing his arm way off to the side to like try to create hand contact. It is fucking annoying. This piece of shit.
It is very annoying, and you know who does it a lot too? Kyle Lowry. I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
But Kyle Lowry doesn't look as bad because like he's a bit bulkier.
Yeah.
When you see a fucking twig jump up and like contort his body like that, like come on, bro.
The thing that pisses me off is that it still goes in most of the time.
I
He
know.
still hits the basket, and he still doesn't get the call. So I don't think
I wouldn't give him the call either.
You can't give him the call because right now, as of today, Steph Curry is shooting 51% from behind the arc, which is just absolutely ludicrous. So I would never give him any calls because it's a coin flip when he shoots it.
Yeah. If you make real contact, fine.
Still, because it's still going in. It's not even.
Yeah,
fair.
but I'm not giving them as a bullshit like body contorting.
When he's driving up the court, fast breaking, and he's literally shooting from the emblem in the middle of the court just to get the foul. And I understand, I hate those, but it's what the refs are doing. It's what everyone's doing nowadays. It's what the league's going to, and I hate it. I dislike it.
I want to segue this. I know you had a topic, but I want to segue this into fucking James Harden too.
He does it too as well. He's the worst at it. He's even worse than Steph Curry at it.
And that was the one thing when they were playing against the Lakers, that fight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something that we need to talk about.
Oh yes.
Brandon Ingram got tired of his bullshit. Got tired of Chris Paul's bullshit. And these because literally, James Harden had more free throws than the entire Lakers team. Right?
But that's normal for James Harden though. James Harden averages 15 foul shots a game.
Right. But it's he uses the rules so intelligently, but it's so unfair and it's lame.
It's the fact of he knows what to do, especially for those traveling calls that he never gets called on magically.
Yeah.
I know everyone gives shit to LeBron for doing those. James Harden, every single time he touches the ball, he travels. Every single time he travels. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But he knows how to manipulate not even the game and the rules, his body, to look like he's putting down a dribble when he's really not. He's shuffling 2 steps and then the ball hits the ground. It's the worst. But it's the way that the players find a way around the rules. It's with anything in general.
Mhm.
You give someone rules, they're going to find ways to just bend them just enough to not get in trouble.
Right.
And he's found a nice happy place with the traveling, those sweep under shot pull-ups when you're like 20 feet far away from the 3-point line and just jacking them.
He somehow sells the shots, like the contact, and while making them.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. So it's one of those things, if I had the ability to do it, I'd do it. Why not? If the refs are going to let you go with it, do it. Like LeBron does it, not as often, especially not with shooting, but he does those flop fouls that he gets all the time.
Yeah.
It's what else I chalk it up to? It's the refs giving them these calls.
Yes.
You always see the refs babying the best players. And you always see it against people that you think should be getting the respect. The DeMar DeRozans, the Kawhi Leonard. He's learning firsthand. Raptors get no love in the league. He's getting hacked on some of these takes in the paint, and he doesn't get the calls where he probably would have got the cars in San Antonio just because he's the name in the team. It's just not fair. It's blatant, unfair, biased for superstars on super teams.
And then Brandon Ingram, the fight with Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Actually, yeah. So let's get into that one there as well. This was absolutely the worst situation for Dan's fantasy team. It actually made me laugh because everyone involved was on your team.
Yep.
I don't even know how that was possible for you to have all 3 of those guys on one fantasy team.
I was like,
yeah.
oh my God, this fight is amazing. This is like the greatest thing since the Malice in the Palace.
Yeah.
Like this real fist is being thrown.
Yes, and punches being landed.
Yeah. And then I looked at my fantasy team and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm screwed this week.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm only missing Chris Paul, but oh, wait, he just punched Rondo, who's your backup point guard. Okay, now Brandon Ingram's coming out of nowhere, and he's punching people. God damn it, Brandon, why are you doing stuff? But I gotta give credit to Brandon Ingram for not bitching out to James Harden and to the whole organization. He stood up for what he thought was wrong, and he fought for it, which was good. Like I respect that.
The one thing that I said about it when it happened was the fact that he was pissed off at these calls. I feel like that's something that's gonna light a fire under his ass.
Yep.
And I think it's something that where he's gonna look at where it was that point in his career where he turned it on, and
hopefully,
like as soon as he came back within 3 games, he had that big 20-something point game.
Yeah, he did.
And he's hitting threes. Like we haven't seen him hit that many threes in a game realistically.
Because now I think that moment in that fight, it showed that he belonged in the league. Like there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. You're not a rookie. You're not even a second year. Like this is your 3rd year. You're not even a rookie. You're not a sophomore. There's no title for you other than now you are an NBA player.
Right.
I guess in 4 or 5 years you can be classified as a vet.
Veteran, yeah.
But like right now you're just a regular NBA player.
Yep.
You're not afraid. You've been through this season before. You've been through the grind. You've been injured before. Like not significant, but you know what you are getting yourself into.
Right.
So now it's just finding your niche, which I think this fight potentially showed him that you can hang, Brandon. You can hang.
Yeah.
The one thing that I want to talk about this fight as well, the big question, did Rondo actually spit on Chris Paul? Was it intentional spit, or was it just like jawing and saliva got out there? Right, you're running around, it's hot.
Did you see the rumors that it could have been Melo that did it?
No, Melo's spitting like over people.
Yeah, so apparently it wasn't intentional spitting either.
Okay, no.
So it was like Melo was like talking back to the ref and like spit came out.
Okay.
And hit him in the side of the face. So from a certain angle,
you can see like
it kind of looks like it, but at the same time it's like I don't know, man. Like Rondo's head is in the way.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like it looks pretty blatantly obvious that Rondo spit.
No, it does. Okay. In Rondo's defense, I don't think, yes, Rondo's a competitive player. Yes, Rondo's a gritty player. I don't think he's the kind of guy to spit on a person. Like, you know what I mean?
I didn't think so either.
Like, I don't know. It looked, I know the angle you're talking about.
Yeah.
but he had a mouth guard in his
Yes.
mouth. He uses a mouth guard.
Yes.
It's hard enough to talk with a mouth guard in your mouth after getting heated in a moment.
Yeah.
Spit's gonna build up because it's hard to swallow with a mouth guard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think he like spit at Chris Paul. I think he was jawing at Chris Paul, and you can see the mouth guard was coming out because he was trying to take it out to talk shit to Chris Paul, and spit came out. I think maybe it could even be sweat. I don't know, but I don't believe he would spit on somebody. But Chris Paul's also in the right. If you feel water hitting your face and there's no water around you and someone's yelling at you, the first thing that I think is, you spit on me, bro, I'm gonna throw hands.
But he didn't throw hands. He just like kind of like
he put his
pushed
hand. He didn't throw a punch. But you're putting your hands in my personal face. You can't do that either.
Yeah.
So I understand where the heat came from, but I don't think it was spit and now hands were being thrown. I think it was just a weird circumstance.
What about Rondo's defense? He's saying that if I was looking to have a fight, like my hands wouldn't be down and stuff like that, I'd be ready to throw hands. Like you can see from the video that if I was gonna spit on somebody, I would be ready to like
for the rebuttal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I think that's maybe the most valid defense.
I was gonna say I agree as well, because if in your head you're like, I'm going to spit on this man
and expecting nothing to happen,
exactly, just walk away. No, it's like you see someone getting out of a nice car and you go to throw a rock at their car. You're not expecting the guy to run after your ass. Like you should be expecting consequences.
You're probably running before the rock hits the car.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I have to agree with Rondo. If I'm going to spit on this man, I'm going to punch this man, I'm going to do damage to him, something's coming back at me. Like, I'm not just going to be like, what, two? And then walk and play basketball again. It doesn't happen that way. I don't know. So I think the fight was good for both teams, and I think it was handled really well by the league too. Nothing extravagant, no like 15-game penalty suspensions or something stupid. 4 games for Ingram, 3 for Chris, and then 2 for Rondo, or something like that.
2 for Chris.
2 for Chris. It was
for
something
Rondo,
like that.
4 for Ingram.
Okay, so I thought it was handled right. Ingram should have got the worst suspension because he wasn't in the confrontation. That he sparked the confrontation, but the real confrontation that was happening between Chris and Rondo, he put himself into that situation. That's a no-no. That's like even worse than coming off your bench to fight. So I understand he was the worst, and I think Chris Paul should be the least because water hit his face, water spit, whatever it was. That's not called for. So I think it was handled really well from the league, and that's one of the first for the NBA, I think.
Yeah. One of my second favorite things that happened because of this fight is we got to see a lot of Lonzo Ball. Dude, last year, if you were listening to this podcast, you know that last year I was not a big baller.
No, you weren't a big baller, Brandy, at all.
Not at all. But during preseason, when I saw that he fixed his shot a little bit, I became a believer. And he's been hitting his threes at a high rate.
Talking about ball here, we always have a ball segment here on this show for some reason. I have to announce, with LeBron coming to the Lakers, where's LeVar been in the last 8 months even? Even like right when LeBron said, like, even though I know LeVar sort of fell away during last season because of that quote unquote LeVar Ball rule with no media interactions and crap, he was still doing some things, especially in Lithuania. You would still see his name in things.
Yeah.
Now with LeBron and the Lakers, I have not seen a LeVar Ball media post, a LeVar Ball article, meme, anything.
Yeah.
In any capacity on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, nothing of LeVar. I think he's literally sitting down and going, I'm sorry, LeBron. Do what you got to do, LeBron. Get my son a championship and make my son an NBA legend.
I think he's also focusing a lot on his JBA thing too.
That's true. He is starting to get a league going.
Yeah, so, and then he has Jello playing there as well too. He has Melo playing on the same
team.
Yeah,
maybe he's just busy. Maybe that's what he needed.
Speaking of Ball family drama, though, have you heard about Lonzo Ball and his baby mama?
No, I'm not surprised Lonzo has a baby mama, but
they've been dating since high school. She's pretty hot. She's smoking hot.
Okay, no, I wouldn't expect anything less.
So, they just had a baby over the summer.
How old is Lonzo? He's like 22, not even.
He only went to school for 1 year.
Yeah,
It's one and done.
So he's like what? He's 22,
19, 20, something like that.
Well, no, but this is his second year now, so he would have came into the league at 19ish. Yeah. So maybe 21. With a kid, holy.
Yeah. So
okay.
So
I'm gonna Google that.
what his
His
girlfriend?
age. Well,
Oh.
that too. That as well.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
Okay.
So she put it on her Instagram live story. She was talking about him being a deadbeat dad and how she's gonna write a
Damn.
tell-all book if she doesn't give him child support and stuff like that.
Okay, why is he not paying her child support?
Apparently they were gonna like split,
Okay.
and he was like, if they're gonna
50-50.
split, you gotta give me like $30,000 a month in child support.
Okay.
Otherwise she's gonna write a tell-all book about the family affairs and stuff like that. Blah blah blah.
Damn. And just knowing families of this kind of stature, the stuff that goes behind closed doors must be freaking humongous. Like, because LeVar really brought his family from nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, and it's hard. There's a struggle. Like, you got to do some shady shit to get to where he is.
There's even shady shit with JBA with players not being paid and
at
stuff
all.
for that.
So it's. I would read the tell-all book.
I would.
Like, I would buy the first edition. Like, I don't know. Like, I never heard of all of this.
Yeah.
Stat checking here right now. Lonzo Ball, 21 years old, born
Yeah.
in '97. Like, he's a child. I gotta find this
So
baby mama now.
I think they're trying to like get everything resolved and stuff like that, obviously. So there's the Ball in the Family TV shows,
Mhm.
whatever, blah blah blah. And they're trying to patch it up and be like, oh, like Lonzo Ball has been busy. He hasn't had time to really see his kid because he had surgery, had to do rehab, blah blah blah. Training camp. Now he's playing and stuff like that. So he can't really be there all the time.
Yeah, he's a
Right?
professional athlete.
So yes, true, but at the same time, like I don't know how much time is he actually spending with his kid, right?
his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Actually, I think I found them here right now. I don't want to drop her name because she's really a nobody.
If you're listening and you know Lonzo Ball, if you follow Lonzo Ball, you know her name.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
she's hot.
That's fair. Yeah, she's actually a good-looking guy. I would
Yeah.
think he could do better going to UCLA, being a big baller. You know what I mean? Like, he should. But no, good for him.
Yeah.
21 with a baby in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be hard work.
Right. Yeah, so
Wish
that was
him the
an
best.
interesting drama that I followed a little bit of.
Yeah, actually, no, I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that one. There's gonna be constant updates of that now. I'm sure. All family. Also, it's on the show that this
Yeah.
is all going down.
Yeah. There's
Why
a
do
lot
you
of
have
stuff.
reality TV shows when you know there's stuff you don't want people to know about? You know what I mean? Like, because everyone sees the Kardashians do it, so they think they can do it as well. I don't know. It's silly. I don't know. I wish the best for Lonzo. I hope this doesn't interfere with his basketball career because he's turning a corner.
Yep.
He's looking like he's an all-around point guard that they thought he could be when he got drafted.
So here's the thing. Like I think there's a lot of rumors with him possibly being traded once LeBron got there. There's all the rumors where he kind of leaked his injury so that he couldn't get traded.
Yep.
Things like that. With the way he's playing right now, with the fact that they have Rondo as well too, do you think that's something that they still might be looking into, or do you think he's kind of secured himself a spot with the Lakers?
It's really how the organization, Luke Walton, general managers, Magic Johnson and stuff, are going to look at it. I'm really looking at Lonzo Ball as the glass half full, half empty situation. Yes, there's room for him to grow, but he has already grown, like had some growth where his stock isn't really going to be much higher than what it is right now to get value back for him. So it's one of those pieces, if you are halfway through the season, you see your teams on that fringe of being great but not really that great. And Lonzo Ball, if he's playing respectable basketball as he has for these first 9 games, I think you might have to move him purely because his stock is really high right now. Like he's double-digit points, good assists, like 4, 5, 6 points and assists a game. I don't think there's going to be much more value you can get from Lonzo other than that. So it's where you are at nearing the trade deadline time. If you're going to be a buyer or a seller, if you just need to buy one little piece, I think the piece you're going to be selling would be Lonzo.
Well, they can still keep him for a few more years because he's
young.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
His rookie contract's like 4 years before
Mostly.
the extension.
Yeah.
So he's got this year plus two
Two
more.
more. Yeah, with paying the rookie salary, which is nice.
By then, who knows what Rondo's gonna be?
By then, who knows what
Lance
Lonzo's going to be
Stevenson.
like even.
True.
Because Lonzo could blow up and be the man.
Ingram, Kuzma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Lonzo could, realistically take that leadership role if he Depending
2
on his
years,
personality, right?
2 years under LeBron James would not hurt. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So injuries are a big thing. I don't know. It's one of those things that I would want to see where they are. You know what? Put a pin in that question. Ask me that around trade deadline time, and we'll see where I'm gonna fall with that one. Because as of right now, ride the Lonzo train.
Yeah.
Why shake up anything when you've already shook up your team to the core in the offseason? No need to shake up a little bit what you have right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else you got what you want to talk about here, but I know that we've had an influx of 50-point games in the first 9 games in the season. I remember 4 or 5 years ago where 50-point games were like an unbelievable accomplishment of like astronomical proportions. Like that's not a daily thing. We've had 4 50-point games within the last 2.5 weeks of basketball, which has been unbelievable. And they've been coming from people where you've been expecting it, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then a lot of people who you're not expecting it, like Blake Griffin. And the one most outstanding, unpredicted. Well, I have to give you credit. I don't want to say you predicted it because no one predicted this, but you somewhat hinted at this. To the Derrick Rose comeback season, 50-point career high, game-winning
block.
game.
He had the game-winning block as well.
Like
clutch free throws.
Okay, before we even divulge into these 4 games, let's go into Derrick Rose first because I know I want to talk about that the most as well.
Yeah, I want to talk about it.
Is this 2011 Derrick Rose back? I know it's one game; it's a small sample size, but I know me as a fan, I like to feed into these situations.
Yeah.
Is this the comeback of Derrick Rose to relevancy?
So here's the way I look at it. So obviously, if you've been following this podcast, I've been saying Derrick Rose is not done. Like as much as anybody says he's washed up, he's injured, blah blah blah. I've seen him play in New York. I've seen him play, and like
Chicago, yeah.
I knew he can still play. And when you want to say, is he gonna be back at 2011 Derrick Rose? I'm gonna say no, he's not gonna be, because that was a different player. He played a different style of basketball, and I think Derrick Rose now has adapted. He still plays in some ways very similarly, but you don't see the explosive dunks and stuff like that. He's playing smarter basketball, and he's improved his jump shot. So he can still play the game. He's still smart with the game, but he's not that explosive, athletic freak that he was in the past.
Of course.
But he can still ball.
He can still ball, and he can still put the ball in the net, which is what you would expect from Derrick Rose. I like to think that he could come back to relevancy, not all NBA, MVP candidate, like not that, but relevancy, where he has not had that since 2011, realistically, when he won the MVP.
Yep.
So listen to this timeline of Derrick Rose. For some of the fans that might not be as ingrained with NBA, they could be new fans in the last 2 to 3 years where Derrick Rose hasn't been what Derrick Rose should be, when everyone's just like, oh, someone got 50 points in Derrick Rose, whatever. This is the timeline that Derrick Rose has sustained. 2009, drafted, first overall. Was he not? First overall drafted 2009, wins Rookie of the Year. Unbelievable.
I had him that
Great
year
season.
in fantasy.
Beautiful season. 2010 comes out, doesn't have a bad year, has a good year, not an MVP candidate, but he was
for a second-year player,
exactly. That's what it is. And I think he made an All NBA team in the second year,
and All-Star for sure,
and an All-Star. So he was a great player. 2011, he becomes the best player, wins the MVP in your 3rd year, youngest MVP at the time ever at that time, which is unbelievable. And then
he still is the youngest, isn't he?
Didn't Steph beat him?
Steph was older though.
Was he?
Yeah, Steph was older.
Okay.
Steph played at least 5 seasons before he got an MVP.
He might still be the youngest MVP
I think
ever.
he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to stat check that as well. But then comes back the very next year in his MVP repeat season, tears his ACL. Out for the season.
Stupid decision.
Yes. Because it wasn't even basketball related, was it?
It was, but it was garbage time.
Terrible. Okay. But then again, and you know what it was? I fault that to Thibodeau. Thibodeau plays his men to the ground.
Yes.
That's actually true. Actually, I remember that. Going back, comes back after 2012 season, misses the majority of the season, comes back in 2013, tears his meniscus in his other knee. Big knee surgery. Exactly.
He was overcompensating on the other leg.
Huge knee surgery, out for another season.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. comes back in 2014, and this is where he was bouncing between teams, couldn't find a role, and he was just irrelevant, coming off of 2 major knee surgeries. So I understand why he was a little bit out of relevancy. 2015 comes around, and this is where he's had a good season. I think he was with the Knicks at this time. Has a good season, and then 2015 comes, and he tears his meniscus again in the same knee that he tore in 2013. That is absolutely devastating. Like, that is just career ending. 2015 just absolutely should not be playing basketball again.
Do you remember his interview when he had it with Adidas after his injury? And
No.
he was so emotional.
And he was saying
crying
the
and stuff like
comeback
that.
and everything.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Actually,
That touched
that.
my heart, man.
So and that's why you always vote for Derrick Rose. You always root for Derrick Rose. So after that second knee injury, he was irrelevant for 2 years until 2018 comes off and drops his greatest NBA game of his career.
Yes.
And don't forget, he won MVP in 2011. He won Rookie of the Year in 2009. He has never played as good in those 2 award-winning seasons as he did in this 2018 season, where he's not even top 5 on his team.
He's coming off the bench.
He's not even top 5 players on his team. He was top 2 in the league in these 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Being a fan for a long time here myself, I would like to think I'm a pretty big NBA fan. It's amazing seeing Derrick Rose back. Like, honestly,
Did you see the post game interview?
and him crying
Oh
with
my
the girl.
God.
You see
I almost cried.
the league-wide support
Yes.
that was pouring in. Tweets from Steph, LeBron, KD, like anybody and everybody that is a basketball fanatic. Even football fans were giving him love to Derrick
Yeah.
Rose being back. It's one of those situations where you just can't help to be happy for that situation.
I quoted
For
Drake
Derrick Rose.
lyrics on LeBron James's post on that.
What
Yeah.
lyrics did you post?
It was what was it? If you ain't been a part of it, at least you got to witness.
This?
Or, and the line right before
Cleveland.
that was it?
Cleveland fan, like ultimate LeBron James fan here. Like, it's unbelievable.
Everyone who doubted me is asking for forgiveness.
That's a good line though as well. So I don't know. I'm really rooting for Derrick Rose. Of course, like, this is not gonna be. He's not going all NBA. He's not running all star. Like, you know what I mean. But like a 50-point game, I would take 20 points. Like, that's good work, Derrick. Like, I'm so pumped.
If he can keep this up, and he does have this comeback season, I hope he gets paid. I hope teams aren't gonna still look in the past and be like,
You're
this
an
guy's not
injury
worth it or
prone.
whatever. But I think he should at least get like a contract like Danny Green's getting. He shouldn't be getting a veteran's minimum.
No, agreed. I'm just hoping that. Oh, actually, no, not even hoping. I wanted to segue this a little bit. I know after we saw this game here, I shot you a message there as well. What happens? Because Jimmy Butler wasn't playing this game.
Yeah.
What happens if Jimmy Butler was sitting at home watching what Derrick Rose can do, and if he goes, if I can get Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns to stop being bitches and like play my kind of basketball, because Derrick Rose plays Jimmy Butler kind of basketball.
Yeah.
Those two together in Chicago would have been
They understand each
disgusting.
other.
Exactly. They come from they're cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
Where Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins are younger.
Yep.
They're about 4, 5, 6 years younger.
Yep.
So they're cut from a different cloth. So it's, if they can come and get to these old veteran kind of mentality, why would Jimmy Butler want to leave? Like, honestly, because
I don't think.
looking at it,
other than the money factor.
yes,
Because
fair.
he
He's not
definitely
gonna
wants to get paid.
Yeah, he wouldn't get paid if
That
he
was
stayed in
one of the
teams.
biggest problems,
Agreed.
in my opinion.
Agreed. It's if he wants to get paid, but it's the fact of their team is better than a lot of
They
majority
have
teams.
an amazing team.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, if you look at it, like, they have
On
the
paper.
2011 like
The Bulls.
starting lineup
Yeah.
as their bench. Well, with Jimmy Butler being in the starting lineup, but
But no, I do understand what you mean. It's honestly, they have a team that people want to build around. Like, they have pieces everywhere that they can be good. They have Jeff Teague on their team.
Mhm.
No one talks about Jeff Teague anymore. But like, Jeff Teague was talked about for like not MVP, but for like all NBA teams.
Yeah,
like, he was a
yeah.
big playoff relevant player in the Atlanta Hawks. So it's the fact of they have pieces. They have 2 good point guards. They have Andrew Wiggins, who is just an all-around scorer. I actually didn't even know this until the T-Wolves played the Raptors a couple weeks ago. Andrew Wiggins only missed 2 games in his 4-year career. 2 games. That's durability. That's unbelievable. So they have a durable
that could
young
be
man.
due to his softness too, though.
True, he
His
doesn't get in the
willingness-
paint.
His unwillingness to defend.
Yeah, but then still, people do that, and still people get injured. Like
Sure.
J.R. Smith gets injured a lot. J.R. Smith is not playing defense if he doesn't have to play defense, and like, you know what I mean. So it's they have a young Wiggins who can score and is durable. They have Karl-Anthony Towns, who is arguably the most like well-rounded big man that can play. Like he's like Anthony Davis. I don't understand why he's not better than what he is.
I think he's easily top 4.
Yeah,
along with like DeMarcus Cousins, AD, and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, so I just don't, and he's not playing up to his potential. Karl-Anthony Towns should be top 5 big men under the age of
and that's why Jimmy Butler is so pissed off.
And I understand because like that would get me going too. Because
Yeah.
if Jimmy Butler was a 7 foot tall athletic guy like Karl-Anthony Towns is, Jimmy Butler would be the greatest player of all time.
Right. Like if Jimmy Butler, the way that Jimmy Butler's looking at it is like, I got these 2 amazingly talented players here, and if they worked as hard as I did, if they worked as hard as D Rose does, like we wouldn't
Should
have
be.
been eliminated in
Yeah.
the first round last
They
year.
should be good. So and I understand, but why can't he look at that game from 50 points from Derek and go, Andrew, like let's do this. Karl-Anthony Towns, stop being a bitch and watch Anthony Davis game film and like let's go and do this.
I feel like I think Andrew Wiggins, I feel like he has come a little bit. He has turned the corner
Yeah.
a little bit. He's shooting a lot more threes than he did last year.
Yes,
and that was one of his biggest criticisms last
Yeah.
year. But yeah,
he's not where he's supposed to be.
No, he
He's
can
not
definitely
where
be
he's
better,
supposed to be.
and Cat can definitely be way better.
Yes, Cat should be a lot better. So I know with the T-Wolves, they got a lot of talk here where they really shouldn't get that much talk. But it's the Jimmy Butler factor. He's not going to stay. Like, he should really get a deal. I don't know where he's going to go, the value of it. Houston Rockets offered 4 first-round draft picks for Jimmy Butler. We haven't even talked about that realistically. How would you feel being a Warrior, being a T-Wolf, or even being the Rockets, seeing that trade being offered? Would you take it, not take it, offer it, not offer it?
Oh man, that's a ridiculous trade.
It's one of those things that I understand where you're coming from, Houston. I don't think you're in the position to make that deal. You are literally selling your future for the immediate year because it's a rental.
Yeah.
You might not even come back next year for a year and a half.
At the same time too, is like, let's be realistic. Your picks aren't gonna be that high
No,
either.
granted.
Like if you're trading for the Cavs picks, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Right.
And I agree, but it's the fact of, yes, looking at it from the T-Wolves perspective, yes, we got 4 first-rounders, but they're going to be garbage picks.
Mhm.
But at least we get 4 additional bodies to the 4 bodies that I'm already getting.
Right.
But it's the fact of, I can't see Houston doing that because they're not in the position to sell their future like that. They are buying a mortgage of their team. If they don't pay out in the first 2 years, you're going to be garbage for the next 5.
It's basically another Brooklyn
Nets,
type
yeah,
situation.
when they sold out for the Celtics and they lost, and now they are trash, and they're gonna be trash forever. Like, I hate to say it, but it is true. Like the Nets
Forever?
are not gonna
Forever
be
is harsh.
bro. They still don't have picks until like 2020, and like.
Oh,
Who do they have? They don't even have Brook Lopez. And like Brook Lopez is even good.
oh my god.
They have DeMarcus Carroll, who's injured. They have D'Angelo
D'Angelo
Russell.
Russell's their best player.
Like, oh, they're gonna be bad forever, man.
Oh shit.
I understand. I guess forever is a long time, but they're not gonna be good right now. Let's see what their standing is right now in the league. Because I'm sure they're not the worst. Because they're not the worst in the East.
They're not.
The
they're
Warriors
not
are
worst.
the Wizards are the worst in the East. They are 1-6. That's a fluke. They will get it to going at the end. The Nets right now, hey, the Nets are 2-5. If the playoffs started tonight, they would be on the outside looking in, but they would be 9th. That's pretty impressive. But it's the fact that it's only 9 games in. So it's like,
Oh, shit.
Brooklyn, I'm sorry. Like, Jay-Z, I'm sorry, bro. I know you put a lot to get this team into Brooklyn. You shouldn't have had your Russian owner literally sell your team for Kevin Garnett, who is old, Paul Pierce, who is old.
You already knew they were old in the Celtics, right? That was their last ditch effort.
And I don't understand it. Like, that is just so ludicrous. But like, whatever. It's good for them. I hope they can bounce back, but I don't think they will. That deal that they took Damari Carroll from us as well was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But moving on to the other 50-point games, just to throw them out there, we had Blake Griffin, who dropped 50 points and 14 boards against your Philadelphia 76ers. They actually beat the 76ers in that game as well, which was pretty surprising to me.
Yeah.
All 4 of these 50-point games that happened all came in winning efforts. Then again, 3 out of the 4 of them were close games.
Yeah.
So, which was surprising. So they needed every one of those 50 points.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson had a record-breaking game. Dropped 52 points in 3 quarters.
26 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was ludicrous. He is 52 points, 14 3-pointers in one game, which is a record.
Yeah.
But he has the most 50-point games with under 30 minutes played in those games. He has 2 of them in his career. In the whole NBA history of basketball, going to Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Like, Wilt Chamberlain had 100 points. That's unbelievable. But like, even back in those times, no one's ever done 50 in under 30 minutes of game time.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's been 81 points by Kobe Bryant. He had to have more than 30 minutes. There's been multiple 50-point games by Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Wilt Chamberlain. Like, everybody had 50-point games.
Yeah.
They never done it in 30 minutes or less. Unbelievable. I remember, wasn't Klay Thompson's last 50-point game, he hit like 30 points with like 8 dribbles or something stupid?
Something
He
like
would just
that. 11 dribbles or something like
yeah,
that.
and he hit like 50 points in 11 dribbles. He just ran around, spot up, hit a 3. That's all you had to do. So Klay Thompson, it's kind of a weird situation because in my books, Steph Curry, the next guy that had another 50-point game, is the best pure NBA shooter of all time. Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. Like, I'm sorry, Steph Curry's going to kill all your records. Klay Thompson is second of all time, I think, as pure NBA shooters, even before Reggie and Ray Allen, and they're on the same team at the same time. That even saying it that never happens is an understatement because, like, obviously that never happens.
Yeah.
But like, it's happening right now. The Splash Brothers are the 2 best 3-point shooters in NBA history, I think. So
Here's a question I have for you. We know that Stephen Curry gets more opportunities to shoot. But given the exact same situations, if they had equal opportunity, who do you think is a better shooter? Klay or Steph?
see, it's a really loaded question because Klay is a very routine shooter. He needs to come off a pick. He needs a dribble. He has a rhythm. Steph Curry is the best. Give me the ball. I'm gonna throw it any way I can throw it, and it's going in the net.
The Hail Marys that go in.
That just go in for no reason. The 8 feet behind the arc, stop up, jump and shot like that. Klay Thompson can't do that, but Steph Curry can. But like, I don't think Steph Curry can do like what Rip Hamilton used to do, back screens all day like Klay Thompson does, and get threes like Ray Allen used to do as well.
Yeah.
He can't do that, but Steph Curry is a better create my own shot. You've seen him do the 10 behind the backs, between the legs, when you used to do that with LeBron James in and out, and then he just jacks up a 3 without even looking at the net and it goes in. He's a better that kind of shooter. Klay Thompson's a better rhythm shooter. 2 different things, both best at what they do, but like it's tough to say who is a better pure shooter with touches. I don't know. How would you feel about, like, who would you say is the better pure shooter? Put the ball in their hands. They each get 50 shots. Who's gonna hit the most?
In my opinion, if you're gonna give them passes and stuff like that,
Yep.
I would go with Klay.
Yeah, and I think that's right as well. It's the 3-point contest. They both won the 3-point contest,
Yep.
so it's like. But then again, 3-point shooting contests aren't basketball shots.
Yeah.
When have you ever picked up a ball from your right hand at waist level and put up a perfect arc? It never
Yeah.
happens.
But if it's like a practice drill,
Yeah.
like if you're just shooting in practice and you got your trainers passing you the ball,
Yeah,
I give it to Klay.
Me too. I think so as well. But it's if you're dribbling, if you have to put the ball down 10 times, you have to dribble 10 times, and people are guarding you, and you're just gonna throw it after.
Yeah.
I give it to Steph, because like we were saying before, Klay Thompson, 11 dribbles, 30-something points.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to dribble. He doesn't like to dribble. He
Yeah.
likes a pass right into the bread basket. It's gonna be a perfect shot.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. But the fourth and final 50-point game so far in the first 9 games, Steph Curry dropped 51 against Washington, got the W as well. So far, let's round it up to 10 games happened so far. We had 4 50-point games. In the rest of the season, there were 72 games for everyone else left. How many more 50-point games or more would you be expecting in this season?
How many more? Man. How many more? That's a tough question.
I remember a couple years ago, 2 50-point games in a season is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We've had 4 in 2 weeks.
For me, it's more like which players are going to be the ones to do it.
Fair.
Right?
Good question.
I can see James Harden doing it.
Yes, James. See, and that's the thing. All of these people, Derrick Rose, never thought it. Blake Griffin would never have thought.
Right.
I'm expecting LeBron James to have one. James Harden should have one. Anthony Davis, why can't he have one?
I think Anthony Davis will get one.
Giannis, maybe not Giannis because he doesn't have the 3-pointers to add you up a little bit more. Kevin Durant deserves one. Like, you know what I mean? So like we just lifted off 5 guys that if they got a 50-point game, no one's gonna be like, what? Like 50 points by Kevin Durant? I never thought that was gonna. Yeah, okay, that's sure. He put 50 points up. That's what I expected. So I'm expecting probably 4 to 5 more before the year is up, like easily. And I hate to say it easily, but pretty easily because like I wouldn't be surprised if Donovan Mitchell drops 50 points like he did before. Devin Booker's dropped 50 points before.
Devin Booker.
Like, and these are like not even nobodies. And we were talking about people from good teams where there's a lot of people that get the ball. Devin Booker has no one really to pass the ball to. He's going to get a lot of shots. Same with like the Philadelphia 76ers. Like people are going to get a lot of shots.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm expecting at least 4 or 5 more 50-point games. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do get that many more.
I can see it for sure.
Yeah. But I have a question to build off of that as well. Do you credit these 50-point games to good offensive strategy and good offensive play, or just the lack of defense that we're seeing in the NBA nowadays?
It's definitely a little bit of both, because the 3-point shot, let's be honest, is really hard to guard.
Yes, especially when you have 4 guys doing it.
And the ball movement is crazy right now. Like, coaching is really smart with ball movement. We know that the ball moves faster than the person. So a lot of open shots are there.
Everywhere.
Right? So it's hard to play defense on there. And then at the same time, like, you're also taught not to jump on the shot or not to go for the block,
yeah,
right?
you just put a hand up and
Put a hand
leave
up. So it's like these 3-point shots are just easy, free.
And I agree purely because now the 3-point ball is being introduced at such a younger age. Like people are shooting 3-pointers from like 8, 9, 10 years old. Yeah. Like, and not NBA threes, I get that, but just incrementally getting deeper as they grow as a player. That's going to make you obviously a better shooter, because if my age group, we get 100 3-pointers in a season, that's like whatever. These kids are putting up 100 3-pointers in practice before the game even starts, just to get into the rhythm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. More or less, to my discomfort, it's the lack of defense. 100 points used to be a big thing back 5 years ago even.
Yeah.
Before the running gun of the Suns. But now 100 points is average. It's
the Lakers like score at least 120 points a game.
And that happened. Like I don't know if all you Raptor fans remember back when Pizza dropped 100 points in a win we get pizza. Yeah. They must be hating that deal now, because 100 points is every day.
I think even now it's like if you hit 12 threes in a game,
you get McDonald's fries. If you hit 12 3-pointers and 100 points,
it's easy peasy.
It's and 3-pointers isn't even hard anymore. So it's like it's such a contrast that 10 years ago 100 points is like, whoa, we got it, yeah.
When we look at the all-time great shooters, who like Ray Allen is right now the most all-time threes.
Yep.
He only averaged like 2 threes a game.
Yeah, not even.
Like, you have guys like JJ Redick scoring like more than 2 threes a game.
Yeah.
You have guys like Rodney McGruder or whatever. Like, he's getting like 3 or 4 threes a game. Like these specialists, these specialists are literally getting like 4 or 5 threes a game. It's part of the game now.
It is, and it's the inflation, which is gonna upset me, because you're gonna be losing names of the Reggie Millers, the Ray Allens, when people are like McGruder are beating this guy, and like JJ Redick. Like, JJ Redick is a great 3-point shooter. Don't get me wrong. I think JJ is a great shooter, even when he was with Duke. Is he top 10 NBA all time? No, but the stats are gonna say yes, because he's getting 3-4 3-pointers made a game when he's shooting 8 to 9 a game.
Even if you look at JJ Redick from when he was on the Clippers to now on the 76ers, the amount of threes he's taken has increased.
It's huge.
Like how many threes did Clay have to shoot? I think he had to shoot 24 threes.
Yeah, and that's still a pretty good record.
24 threes in a game.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
The fact that you got that many looks, and they were all pretty decent looks, so it's
Some
it's
people don't
surprising.
even get that many looks in a game.
Yeah, granted, touches.
Touches,
Touches.
yeah.
Like, you think that Lance Stephenson's like getting 14 opportunities to shoot
Right.
in a game, let alone 3-pointers in a game? Nah, that's how you get benched right quick. So I don't know. It's a good thing to see. I'm hoping that they were going to play a little bit more defense in the days to come.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. So let's wrap it up here. We've been yakking for a long time here now. It's a pretty long first show, purely because we missed a lot of time here. We wanted to catch up with you guys. Ending it off here, let's end off on a hot take. We'll do 2 awards just because it's really early. It's tough to see Coach of the Year. It's tough to see Defensive Player of the Year or even like Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
But let's try and get Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you have any thoughts in mind, but I want to really touch on MVP. First 10 games. There are a lot of good candidates. Let's do a for sure person in the conversation. And I have a dark horse who might be MVP worthy here. I'll go first here with my MVP guess. I think it's pretty common, especially with the start of their team being 7-0, the only undefeated team. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think this is his year. It's going to be his coming out party. They're probably not going to make too much noise in the playoffs. 1, maybe 2 rounds. Wins, maybe. But I think this is going to be his coming out party and showing why he is the most well-rounded player in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Anthony Davis.
Good pick as well. Why not? That's what it is. He's been in the conversation for the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Contract year.
Yeah.
He's just gonna play as hard as he can. If he doesn't get injured, he's gonna put up stats in every category.
Double, easy, 4 or 5 blocks a game because he's second in blocks right now behind I forget who it was. I think JaVale McGee. Actually, I think I was looking at stats here today. I think it's JaVale McGee than it is AD. So AD is always a good thing. Actually, I was gonna throw my hat to AD for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would. Has that ever happened? Had the MVP and D Player of the Year? No,
I don't think at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think that can even happen. But I think if he doesn't win MVP, he would be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. But my dark horse for MVP, it's gonna be Kawhi Leonard. Like, why can't it be Kawhi Leonard? Like, I know the team hasn't had such a huge change from last year because we were one of the best teams in the East. It's just the importance of Kawhi and what he brings to the Raptors. I think that's an MVP candidate in my books.
Yeah.
That'll be my dark horse. Any dark horses for MVP? Anyone that you're just going to be like, Joel Embiid?
No, the same shit every year. LeBron James.
Like, can you even count LeBron James as a dark horse anymore? It's just, he's
got to be.
Yeah, he's always in every conversation for MVP. I want to touch base on Rookie of the Year on the limited source that we have. There is one name that I was surprised that he's actually transitioning as well as he is transitioning. Everyone had a lot of hype on this guy. Didn't think he was going to be up to it. But Trae Young. Trae Young is looking hype-ish. I think he dropped 40 points already in his career, or 30-something. He had a huge game.
He hit a lot of threes that game.
He had a big game. So that to me, 9 games in, Trae Young, why not? Like, he's looking nice. And
I have 2 guys. Luka Doncic
yep.
and DeAndre Ayton.
Yes. I was going to go with Doncic as well. I don't think he can sustain.
No?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen too much game film on Luka Doncic before, so I can't really. I don't know if he can sustain. I've never seen him really play before. I've seen Trae Young in college as well, but like, can he sustain? Have you seen a lot of Dallas Maverick games? And like,
I've watched him play, and he seems like a really smart player. Makes pretty good decisions. Like, he makes rookie mistakes, as all rookies do, but he's an intelligent player.
Hey, I like the European flavor. Like, I hope he's good.
They
I
say
just
he's
don't
the
think he can
best
sustain.
European talent that's come out.
That's what they were saying. Other than like, and he's playing under Dirk as well. So it's like they're saying like it's going to be a really good learning experience for him because he plays like he's a big-bodied guard, but like he plays
LeBron.
But he plays like a stretch 4, but he's in a small body because he can.
Right.
He's like old Kyle Lowry. For all the people that don't know Luka Doncic, he's a bigger build guard, like Kyle used to be back 3-4 years ago. So he's good at bodying people, but he's a little bit taller than Kyle. Yeah. So the high post is lethal for him. And who better to learn high post moves than Dirk Nowitzki, who is the greatest postman, high post guy ever.
And he can shoot the three.
Yeah, he can shoot. He's deceptively athletic too. I did watch the one game against the Raptors here with the Mavericks. Where he was deceptively he was beating people off the dribble, which I was like, hey, we had good wing defenders. Handles. We have good wing defenders as the Raptors. We have OG, Danny Green, and Kawhi Leonard. But he was beating people off the dribble, which was surprising. Kyle Lowry gets an honorable mention out there as well. So I don't know. Can he sustain? That's my question there. I think Trae Young is a little bit more sustainable. He did it all through a college season.
Yeah.
Where did Luka Doncic come from? I know what country he came from, but I mean, what was his pre-basketball experience?
He did go to college as well.
Did he go
to
NCAA?
Yeah. I know. But he won championships in Europe. Yeah, he already played professionally in Europe and won championships there. So he knows how to be a professional already.
Good. So hopefully he can sustain. That will be a dark horse rookie of the year. So I would be looking out for Luka Doncic with the Mavericks. Yeah. Other than that,
I want to bring in one more category here. Most improved player.
Most improved. Good question. On my notes here, I haven't really thought about this at all because I haven't really looked around. I had Derrick Rose just because of the 50-point game, but I know he's not going to be most improved. But that would be a nice award for him.
It's kind of funny that he was an MVP and now he's most improved.
It would be a nice honor. It would be a nice tip of the hat to Derrick Rose coming full circle. But I don't know who are you eyeballing?
I have two guys, JaVale McGee.
We didn't even talk about JaVale McGee. I did promise we would have a JaVale McGee segment.
Honestly, I think JaVale McGee, I watched him in preseason too, and I was super excited about him because I was like, this is Lob City for him now. This is the new Lob City. Forget the Clippers, right? And they're using him just for that.
Run rim to rim. Rim to rim.
Rim to rim, get the offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It fits the system.
It fits. And what I like about it is the Lakers with Lance Stevenson as well too, and Rondo. It's they took these guys that are misunderstood in the league and threw them with LeBron. And LeBron's just I'm taking you to the chip. Get on my back, boys.
Hey, LeBron did that with J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith couldn't really fit into a system. Amon Shumpert couldn't really fit into a system. He made it work. So it's true.
I think JaVale McGee has a solid case, and he's putting up nice numbers, dude.
Sustainability. I do not think he can sustain it either. But hey, prove me wrong. Let's see if he can sustain it. Like I said, it's 9 games. It could be 9 games of the future, or it could be 9 games of anomaly. That's not normal.
My second guy, it's early in the season as well too. Markelle Fultz.
I thought we were gonna have a Markelle Fultz segment here when we were talking about Lonzo Ball fixing a shot.
Yeah,
I thought this was gonna be the Markelle Fultz segue.
I was trying to find a way.
I thought that was gonna be the segue time, but I knew you were gonna slip it in there. Markelle Fultz. Honestly, how can you not put him in the conversation for most improved when he was absolutely trash last year? He hit a 3 already in the first 4 or 5 games, so that's most improved for him.
He's had a 20-something point game already.
Has he?
Yeah.
I knew
24 points, I think.
But good for him.
And in the limited amount of minutes, like I said, last year, he's
making it work.
He's getting close triple doubles in these limited minutes. 8 rebounds, 8 assists in a game, and then he gets double-digit points.
Yeah.
He's a nice fantasy pickup. People are gonna
utility player?
Shit on him constantly and be like, "Oh man, he can't shoot." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, don't look at just his shooting because eventually his shooting is gonna come back. Yeah. He was known as a shooter in college, so forget about that. Look at all the other shit he's doing. He's getting you steals. He's getting you blocks. He's getting you all these other things as well too. He's a solid fantasy guy. He got 5 games this week. I put him in over Chris Paul. Okay, Chris Paul only had 3 games. I'm going to get a lot of numbers from Markelle Fultz.
See, but now it comes into the question, which comes back to old questions that we had with Rookie of the Year. Missing his season, coming back second season, can you be Rookie of the Year? You only had 1 year as a rookie where you barely even played.
Yep.
Can you come back your second year and be most improved?
I think so. Why not? He didn't have a shot.
But then why didn't instead of having Blake Griffin win Rookie of the Year his second season, why didn't he win Most Improved? Because he didn't play in his first. You know what I mean? He didn't play in the first year. Your second year, you played.
But Markelle Fultz technically did play.
He played with 15 games?
Yeah, I think that's worth it. And the only reason why they didn't play him was because
he's injured.
Yeah.
Quote unquote injured. So I don't think that he couldn't play. Yeah. He could have played. They just said, let you not play. let's not play you right now.
Yeah.
So it's not the fact of that he broke his ankle or tore his ACL like other players have done. I don't think he is eligible for most improved when your first year was just a bad rookie season. Like, that's not an improvement. That's just not adjusting to the game.
But if his shot comes back by the end of the year,
That's fair. Yeah, potentially.
because this is one argument that I had with my friend right now. Okay, they're telling me that Markelle Fultz isn't valuable because he's the fourth option on the team. If he can start shooting again, he's the second option on the team.
I wouldn't even say options would be valuable. Like what option you are. So that's like saying Draymond Green's not valuable to the Warriors because he's not the third, because he's the fourth option on the ball.
Right.
He's still valuable in his own way.
Right. He still gets you rebounds. He still gets you assists.
He gives
defensive stats.
He gives you minutes off the bench that are
Right.
valuable minutes because like you don't want to be putting in. I don't even know like some scrubby point guard to give you minutes. Like you have a guy, let's use him. Like he's a step up than TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
TJ McConnell's a good player. He's not a great player. I'd rather have Markelle Fultz than TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
So it's valuable minutes. So yeah, he's not a scorer for you. So that's not valuable. But I'd rather have Rondo coming off than somebody else.
Yeah. And eventually Fultz will be a scorer. Once he becomes a scorer, you have Embiid as the primary option. You have Fultz as the secondary option. JJ is the third option. Ben Simmons is going to get his when he needs to get his.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to score. Like, he only needs to make 5 dunks a game to get double digits.
Yeah. And he's going to get those in transition.
Those easy.
Easy. And it's the fact that he's going to be a well-rounded triple threat, triple double kind of guy. So it's the fact of...
You have 2 guys that are going to be triple threats on that team.
So that's why I think he's valuable. Yes, he's not going to be putting up 25, 30 points a game. That's not what you want him for.
18 points a game. That's what I see.
Okay. And that would be hell of a good for Markelle Fultz, especially coming off the bench and stuff.
For this year?
Nice.
For this year, 18 points a game. I can see him next year, 22.
Okay. So I was gonna say, let's record this here. This is the first episode of season 2 of the Raptors Den. Danny's making some hot picks.
Remember what I said about D Rose?
Hey, we'll be watching it. He's so far proving you right.
Remember who won fantasy basketball last year?
I wish they could see the standings this year. So it's fantasy is one off.
Remember last year I lost the first 2 weeks as well too.
True. And then you did that one big pickup.
And I did I make a big pickup this year in our league? Did I pick up Rodney Magruder, or is that a different league? I have 4 leagues. I can't keep track.
No, you did not pick up Rodney Magruder in our league then. But yeah, so other than that, guys, we're wrapping it up here. There's anything last minute throw-ins you want to throw in there, Danny, for the end of season 2, episode 1?
I think we're pretty good, man. I just if you guys enjoy this show, just make sure you guys follow us, subscribe to us. I don't know, man. Just support us, man. Let us know.
Leave us comments. We really like fan interaction. We will answer comments on the air if we do get any good questions to talk about there. As always, guys, thank you for listening here. And if you made it through the whole show, you did the real MVP. All right, guys, we're out.
Peace.